Hello, students. How are you? How is the lockdown so far? Yes, I'm just urging you to, follow the SOPs and we stay safe. Today we're going to look at the types of climate. As you remember in our previous slides, we actually looked at the factors which affect the climate of Africa. So today we actually going to look at the subdivisions of climatic regions. And we are going to begin with the equatorial climate. So this is a type of climate which is experienced in a region which lies between 6 to 7 degrees north and south of the equator. What does it mean? So as you move northwards, you move 6 degrees just from the equator. Then when you move southwards from the equator, you actually have to cover a distance of an angular distance of 7 degrees. So we can see that in Africa it is experienced in countries like CAR, that is Central African Republic, Gabon, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, that is the northern part, Cameroon, Togo, Ghana, to mention but a few. We see that this type of climate is actually described by its characteristics. As we said at the beginning, that climate is a state of the atmosphere which someone must have observed for a long period of time to describe it. So here we are going to dwell mostly on the elements of weather, that is atmospheric pressure, temperature, rainfall, cloudy cover, etc. So being near the equator, there is what we call the ITCZ, as I described in our previous slides, that the equatorial region is the path of the ITCZ. So which means that it has two rainfall seasons. That is what we call the double maxima. And the rainfall actually ranges between 1,500 to above, that is, and above, that is around 2,500 and plus. So it depends on your distance from the equator. Then the equatorial area or region being near the sun, as we said at the beginning, that it experiences more sun rays since it is in between the globe. So that side is nearer to the sun. So it experiences hot temperature, which is around 21 degrees and above. We'll continue and we'll look at the humidity. So its humidity is around 75% and above. So in our first diagram, so the picture, we can see that it is this area which has the white stuff is actually the humidity we are talking about. Maybe sources of humidity can be water vapor, which comes from the thick forests, the large water bodies, and so on. So we can see that the area being, or the region having a hot temperature, it actually experiences a high humidity. Then on the picture, which is on the right hand side at the bottom, we have what we call a dense cloudy cover. Cloudy cover, as you know, is also a product of water vapor, where the water vapor reaches the condensation level and forms clouds. So it is because of the air which rises from the ground that condenses to form such clouds. So we can see that in the equatorial region, the cloudy cover is actually thick, and the biggest, or the common name that we give is cumulonimbus clouds. It has a small daily range of temperature, or you can call it diurnal range of temperature. This is the difference between the maximum and the minimum temperature of a day. So we see that it is small because the the temperature during day is actually hot, ranging from 21 to something like 30. Then at night, it drops slightly up to something like a 20, 25. So that gives a small range of temperature. So the reason for the nights being hot is that the clouds actually normally trap this uh, this hot temperature during the day, and they emit that temperature at night, which makes the nights within the equatorial region hot. Then it also has a low atmospheric pressure. This is because of hot temperature that normally um, that normally heats up that air, and it forces it to actually move up. So you can see that there is what we call a warm band of rising air, which is known as the doldrum. So it lives with less pressure at the ground. We move to the activities which are carried out in the equatorial region. So we can see that the area or the region receiving heavy rainfall, the double maxima, it actually permits the growth of perennial crops. So when you check on the left, you can see the coffee. You also can see tea. Some people are carrying out tea harvesting. So those crops survive in conditions which are wet. So that such conditions prevail in the equatorial region. Then we have lumbering in the rainforests. So we can see that rainforests actually develop because of the heavy rain, so they grow naturally. So we can see on your right bottom, you see the huge trees, the logs being cut down to actually get several products. We also can move to tourism. You can see in our pictures the tourist. Then we can talk about the warm Gine current, which favors fishing because of the warm temperature that favors the metabolism of fish. So we can see in the middle the picture of a boy carrying out fishing. Then we'll talk about industrialization. On your right, bottom right, you can see that there is industrialization, that is tea processing. So industrialization is possible just because of the presence of agricultural materials. So you can see some industries like tea processing, coffee processing, and many others. Finally, I actually urge you to visit the e-library and the uh, other related sources of information. So in our next slide, we shall actually look at another type of climate, and that is none other than tropical climate. Thank you so much. Stay safe.